Hello and welcome to start of section 5. This section is about introduction to processes. So far we have covered introduction to PRINCE2, the PRINCE2 integrated elements, which are basically the 7 principles, the 7 themes, the 7 processes, and the tailoring aspect or the project environment. We had an overview of that, followed by details of the 7 principles and details of each of the 7 themes. Now we're in the last section of PRINCE2, which is the 7 processes. So we will begin with an overview of what processes are, what do they mean, and what are the 7 processes, and how to tailor the processes in brief. Afterwards, we will have another section coming up, which is the detail of each and every process. PRINCE2 processes. PRINCE2 has a process-based approach for project management. A process is a structured set of activities designed to accomplish a specific objective. It takes one or more defined inputs and turns them into defined outputs. In general, in any environment, processes take inputs, they process them and convert them into outputs. There are 7 processes which provide all the activities required to direct, manage, and deliver a project successfully. These 7 processes are starting up a project, directing a project, initiating a project, controlling a stage, managing product delivery, managing a stage boundary, and closing a project. These processes have an approximate sequence, meaning every project begins with starting up, followed by directing, followed by initiating. However, directing keeps coming up every time the project board reviews and approves something for the progress. Therefore, in general, 1, 2, 3, after which it may go back to 2, and then move to 4, 5. 4, 5 work continuously in every delivery stage. Therefore, 4 and 5 do not really get triggered in the initiation stage. Therefore, only 1, 2, and 3 are required during the pre-project and the initiation stage. And afterwards, we have in the delivery stages, we have 2, 4, and 5, and 4 and 5, which keeps repeating, as well as 6 when there is a stage boundary. Therefore, in the final stage, we would have only directing a project, controlling a stage, managing product delivery, and closing a project, and no stage boundary. This is an approximate view, and as we move forward, we will gain more clarity on how the process model really works. The project flow. The project board will be directing the project throughout its life and authorizes the project manager to manage the project one stage at a time. As we already know, the overall control of a project is with the project board. The day-to-day management and control of the project is with the project manager. And the overall control of the stage as well as day-to-day control of a stage is with the project manager. Work packages are managed by the team managers, however, they are controlled by the project manager. And this is because the corporate sets the tolerances for the project to the board. The board sets the tolerances for the stage to the PM, and PM sets the tolerances for the work package to the team managers. Directing a project runs throughout the project, mainly to provide authorizations from one stage to another, as well as requesting exception plans, approving exceptions plans, providing guidance, providing advice, and notifying the upper level corporate management. The project flow is as follows. The pre-project. We don't call it a stage really because it is before the PRINCE2 begins. The project begins. Pre-project is preparation in order to authorize the project initiation stage. Everything which is done before a project is authorized to the initiation stage is called pre-project. Initiation stage. This is the detailed planning and authorizing project execution as well as the first project delivery stage. Meaning it authorizes the execution of the project and authorizes movement to the first delivery stage and also performs the detailed planning in the initiation stage. Pre-project, on the other hand, it only authorizes initiation, meaning it looks at the investment and justifies it to move to initiation. Delivery stages. This could be one or more to create the products. Final stage where the product delivery work may be there as well as project closure. It is possible that the final stage does not have any product delivery, in which case it will include at least closure. Post-project. This is where the project no longer exists However, benefit reviews in operations will continue after the project is successfully completed and closed. This is a picture or a perspective for the overall PRINCE2 project from start to finish. At the top, we have the corporate level, program or customer level. They ensure the alignment of the project to a program or to the organization's higher level objectives. They provide the project mandate, meaning a trigger to start a PRINCE2 project. This could be a cut from the business plan or a request for proposal from a higher customer, or it could be a concept or a feasibility study or a very specific instruction to create a project. Directing level receives the trigger and starting up a project comes into picture. Starting a project involves not only the project board or directing level, but also project manager who is the managing level. In the starting up a project, the investment is checked whether it is sufficient or not and whether it is worth doing the project. So unless the starting up a project concludes in a decision that it is worth initiating a project, the movement does not happen forward. Once the starting up a project decides that it is worth investing, then initiating a project gets triggered. The decision itself comes from directing a project. All decisions are made by directing a project from the board level. Therefore, starting up a project only provides sufficient information for the project board to authorize initiation. In initiating a project, the project plan is created, which is part of the PID. The PID or the project initiation documents therefore includes the project plan, the detailed business case, the tailoring description, the project monitoring and controlling aspects, the 5 management approaches, and other relevant information. Whereas the starting up a project creates a project brief, which includes only the outline business case, the team structure, the role descriptions, and any other information like project approach and project background. Role descriptions would be finalized in initiating a project process. And any other artifacts which were not finalized in starting up will also be finalized here, like project product description, for example. When the stage nears completion, meaning the initiation stage is nearing completion, the project manager realizes they are in the stage boundary and they will start preparing the end of the stage report and the plan for the next stage, and also update the PID, particularly the performance of the business case and the project plan, and it will be submitted to the board with a request to authorize execution of the project and to authorize execution particularly of the first delivery stage. The authorization to execute a project is triggered through initiating a project. Authorization to execute the next delivery stage is triggered through the stage boundary. However, the authorizations themselves are provided by directing a project. Once that is done, controlling a stage process is triggered, which is the PM's process. The PM therefore looks at the work to be done and assigns the job or the work packages to the team managers and takes control of the stage by checking progress of the work packages, progress of the products, receiving the reports from the team managers, sending reports to the project board, the highlight reports that is. And when the stage boundary is approaching, then the project manager will first check whether the products are delivered by the team manager. Therefore, the controlling stage connects with managing product delivery to check progress of the work packages. On one hand, the managing product delivery provides information on progress to the PM. Also, it accepts the work packages in the beginning when assigned by the PM, and also submits completed work packages and products to the PM. And when all of them are done, then the project manager enters the stage boundary process, creates the end stage report, creates the next stage plan, updates the PID with the business case and project plan performance status, and provides them again to the project board, requesting authorization to the next stage. If the board decides to authorize the next stage, the final stage in this case, it again triggers controlling a stage. The PM takes control to define the work packages and assign them to the team managers. And together with the controlling a stage and managing product delivery, there is interaction between the PM and the team managers for the assignment and the acceptance of work packages and the production of reports, either from the team manager to the PM, or from the PM to the board. And eventually, when all the work products are completed, then the PM realizes it may be time to close a project and starts performing closure activities using the closing a project process. Once most of the activities of closing are completed, the PM will request authorization to closure or recommend authorization to close the project. And if the board thinks appropriate to close it, they will authorize the closure, thereby notifying stakeholders, particularly the upper management, that the project has been closed. During all this, direction may be sought by the project board from the corporate or by the PM from the project board. This is how we can see briefly how the process model works in PRINCE2. It's time to reflect on the learnings before we continue.